Hi, this is Anna, Imagination with the Healing Garden. Welcome to Shifting Perspectives. Yeah, I think I'm ready to. I don't know if I'm ready to give up shifting perspectives. I really love the philosophical garden. I really love that. Um, if you are new to my channel, I am a philosopher, psychologist, sociologist who has invented a new psychology using physics and philosophy and logic to completely reinvent everything we think about mental health and healing. And I am in the process of releasing my program into the world and getting it out there. This is my laboratory where I come in and I do my research journals, I do my research. And because I think and move at such a higher velocity, I don't slow down. And it's easier if I talk and think rather than write. Well, I write, but I tried to go back to sleep. I couldn't do it. And I'm like, all right, screw this shit. I'm apparently up. My brain is like, no, you've got to work. So I'm going, all right, I'm going to work. You know, you love your job when someone asks you the question, how many hours do you work a week? And I go, I have no idea, because it's so much fun that I can't even tell you what my work hours are. I really have no idea. I'm just like, I have no idea because I'm always in the lab. So I'm definitely in the next perspective. I can tell you that because, oh my God, I love the transitions. When you complete a perspective, you get bombarded with a lot of, it's like an upload. It's an upgrade. You're being upgraded. That's what a perspective shift is. You're being upgraded. So I'm in the process of getting my materials upgraded. That's what we're talking about here. Now, you don't feel the upgrades for the first few perspective shifts. You don't start feeling upgrades until you hit the 6th perspective. Maybe when the 5th perspective hits, maybe it feels different. And then you get to the 6th perspective and wow, because that is when you realize, oh, holy shit, I'm a battery. But they don't tell you you're a battery. So you just go, oh, holy shit, what is this feeling I'm feeling? You're a battery, literally. So I have a lot to cover and I'm condensing because it's all uploading. So announcements. We're going to do announcements. I haven't done those in a while. So the first thing is today is January 1st, and January 2024 launches my Radical Global Healing Plan. Excuse me. So it is officially started. So today I'm going to be shifting all of the attention onto the first perspective, which is courage. And we're going to be covering that literally for the entire month of January. Now, in addition to that, we are also going to be focusing on, I'm going to be shifting the way I do my morning show. I'm going to bring parenting into it, and I mean fucking heavy. The reason why is twofold. First, because one, if you are going through mental healing, you have to learn how to parent yourself, which most of us never got the right parenting, which is why we're all messed up, which is, yeah, it goes on. Second, a lot of people are parents, or a lot of people want to become parents. And what is currently in the system is garbage. What has been done to people leaves us with, what the fuck do I do right? And all that parenting ends up leaving us with generation after generation is a laundry list of, this is all the shit you don't do. But there's a lot of shit on that list. And your parents are only a cocktail, which means most of us end up just creating a new cocktail. And no one's sitting there, with the exception of Dr. Spock in the 1950s, going, this is the right way. So I'm going to be addressing parenting with Triadic Healing. I'm going to be, starting today, going to be really focusing in on that. And the parenting is going to be twofold. I'm going to explain this in the show this morning. Is, first of all, it's going to be very much a focal point on how to parent yourself and how to give yourself the parenting that you needed, how to understand how your parents fucked you up, and threefold, how to not fuck up your kids. So there you go. Those are the 3 aspects of parenting that I'm going to be introducing. The next thing is going to be at 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I don't know if I'm going to stick with that time or not. I might not. I don't know yet. I have a show called This Podcast Is Not a Conspiracy. And it's where I put a lot of my conspiracy concepts. It's where I put a lot of the Roman Empire, the Christianity, the system. And I got away from that because I needed to condense and it wasn't feeling right, but it's feeling right now. It is feeling good for me now. It's time I resume. So I'm going to be starting up resuming my show, except I think I'm going to do that at 3 p.m. And I really am going to do that at 3 p.m. I've decided that. I'm not going to do it at 5 p.m. I'm going to do it at 3 p.m. because I want to be done with work by 4 or 5. And the show will be there for anybody who leaves the shifts between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock, which is my goal. So there is that. And then, let me think here, is there anything else here? I have the Healing Summit coming up. And the Healing Summit is absolutely compatible with, and it's designed to be compatible with the thing, my morning show. So that the morning show will give you a nice introduction lead into it. And then the summit will blast it out there. So you get we're going to go over the first, second, and third perspective during the Healing Summit. And that's all we're going to talk about. And then February, we're going to launch into the second perspective. And that's all I'm going to do is talk about the second perspective. I'm going to pull the second perspective fucking apart and teach you how to rebuild yourself. Now, the best part about this is you basically have a month to really absorb all the knowledge you need to establish your first ethic. We're going to go over the consequence of not knowing your first ethic, all of it. It's going to be awesome. And then the third one is March. That's when we dig deep into the third ethic, when we learn vulnerability. And then in April, that's when I do the next Healing Summit. And that Healing Summit is going to focus on the 4th, 5th, and 6th perspective. And that's where we're going to really dive deep into that. Now, on a whole, I've noticed something. And this is where it gets really interesting. And now I'm back to my conspiracy brain. You know what I noticed? Because I studied the Roman Empire. And that included a man by the name of Tyndale. Isn't it fucking ironic? Yeah. William Tyndale is a name that a lot of people do not know about. So I want to talk to you about the name Tyndale. William Tyndale lived during the Age of Enlightenment. He did a lot of the work that was around the same time period as Martin Luther. Martin Luther is the one who basically pointed a big fat finger at the Roman Empire and said, you guys are a bunch of fucking bullshit. And he created Lutheranism, which basically meant not Catholic. So you had the Catholic Church, and then you had Lutheranism after this point. Now, Tyndale is a historical figure that no one knows about. And I'm going to explain Tyndale because this is interesting, because I've noticed this happening today. Tyndale noticed that all the Bibles were in Latin, but the people couldn't speak Latin. Only the papacy could speak Latin. So Tyndale came up with this really fucking great idea to translate the Bible into English, which he did. He translated it into English and made it accessible for everybody. And, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember if he ran, if he escaped, if he was banished, if he was imprisoned, or if he was executed. Yeah, he was strangled and burned at the stake for translating the Bible. The reason why we have English Bibles today is because of William Tyndale. You say, thank you, William, because no one knows this poor man And he died translating the Bible for us. When he did that, he literally showed the people how much fucking bullshit the Holy Christian Empire was doing. And then the Holy Roman Christian Empire realized that people don't fucking read anyway, so it was okay. And then they started new psychological tricks, which brings me into the video that I'm doing now, how psychology has been used as a weapon against you. Now, I'm a psychologist, so I've got like a million different things that I can see that a lot of people can't see. And I'm going, yeah, we're going to talk about Tyndale a little bit. So when I talk to people about my psychology, one of the things they say is, oh my God, you have made it so simple. Yeah, that's right. I did that on purpose. My goal is to get psychology accessible to every single perspective. Children need this shit. Everybody. Psychology is the human manual for your system. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to write that down. That's an Anna-ism. I have a page on my website literally called Anna-isms. And this is going in there. Psychology is, I'm going to write it down right now. Psychology is the manual, guide, and handbook on your mental system. So why the fuck isn't it made accessible to everyone, including children? Well, I will tell you why. It's because they don't want you to know any more than the Holy Roman Empire wanted the Bible translated into English. Because the minute you know, you don't need psychologists. My goal, literally, is to make the field of psychology obsolete. Therapists, NIM is fucking useless. Look at the mess. NIM is fucking useless. They want the funding. Insurance companies are behind all of this. This is another reason why I'm going to be getting into my conspiracy theories. Well, they're not conspiracy theories. Call me a conspiracy theorist. I don't give a shit. I'll take that over to my other web podcast. But the point is, it was done on purpose. Medicine was done on purpose. Medicine was made so complex and so difficult on purpose to keep it away from you, so you would need a doctor. Bottom line. If you can read a fucking book, you can figure shit out. I remember this one day, I was at my doctor's office and she was going over all of these things. And I went to the bathroom. She was in her office. She's like, all right, I'll be right back. I said, okay. She's in her office. And I went to the bathroom and there she was reading a fucking book. I mean, huge textbook, and she's going through it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Now I know medicine is a huge fucking thing and you can't. Why the fuck can't I expect her to know all that shit? Unless she's doing like, no, if I'm going into an operation and I've got a surgeon sitting there looking at the parts of the brain, looking up, I would be asking some questions. So yeah. With everything I know about psychology, I don't need to look fucking shit up when I talk to people because I'm a master at my profession. I don't have to consult the DSM-5 when I'm talking to somebody. I know my fucking shit. What the fuck are they doing with books? So you see where I'm going with this. If you can read a fucking book, you can figure this shit out. Now, I'm going to say, seriously, truly, get your ass to a doctor, but be subjective. Like, get your ass to multiple doctors and get a second opinion and be authoritative. Do not put them on a fucking pedestal just because they're smarter. Don't do that. Stop doing that shit. I have like equivalent of 7 doctorate's degrees. True fucking story. Do not put us on a fucking pedestal. I said it yesterday. I will not speak on a stage unless I am in an amphitheater where I can sit down and look up at the people I'm teaching. For this reason. Authority is used too often for abuse, which is what I'm going to be talking a lot on parenting, is how we handle and address authority, because this is a huge, huge part of this. Authority in relationship to courage. That is what we're going to be talking about this month a lot. Authority and how it's related to your courage, because those are like, that's the juice. So that being said, my goal is to make psychology absolutely accessible to everybody. And there's no reason why it shouldn't be. Narcissism, we all know that that is psychological warfare. By the way, if you didn't know, that is psychological warfare. Narcissism is psychological warfare. The other kinds of psychological warfare is, well, religion, tradition. Anytime you use fear to threaten in an attempt, no, let's define psychological warfare. Anytime your emotions are used as a weapon against you, your emotions or your psychology, are used as a weapon against you. Examples of this is narcissism, Christianity, politics, tradition, parenting. Parents do not know it, but they use psychological warfare a lot. Our ignorance on psychology is destroying our culture. And my goal in life is to fix it. And the way to fix it is just by educating you, just by literally making psychology mainstream. I need another word for this that's like not complex, like psychology. Because psych, let's look up the word psych. Oh, I know who Psyche is. My beautiful Psyche. Psyche. I know who she is. All right, my beautiful girl. All right, where's my myth? Oh, I could go Eros instead. Erosology. This isn't going to be psychology. This is going to be Erosology. How does that sound, guys? Erosology. Oh, yes. Erosology. Isn't that fucking beautiful? You know what? Fuck it. I'm doing it. Fuck psychology. This is Erosology. Psychology. Psyche. Psyche is the Greek goddess of the soul and other represented as a beautiful woman with beautiful wings. The name Psyche means soul in Greek. She is the thing that gave birth to the psyche, psychology. Her lover is Eros, otherwise known as Cupid. So to call this Erosology is a whole different thing. You know what? Fuck it. It's mine. I made it. It's different than psychology. I'm doing it. And this is the best part. Philosophy means wisdom, love. So this is Erosology. Oh, yes. That's what I call class. Oh, yeah. I'm doing it. Welcome to Erosology. Erosology is my psychology. It is Triadic Healing, and it's how I break everything down. So it's accessible, it's simple, it is literally meant for children, it is far more friendly, and it has absolutely no affiliation whatsoever to do with that garbage, which I like to put over there, with that garbage. So welcome to Erosology, a love-based, hence the word Eros, and philosophy-based, which philosophy means wisdom, love. So you see how this all just ties in. And what's even better is you have Psyche and Eros. So this really is a gorgeous little concoction of beauty. So this is Erosology. You can call it parenting with love, parenting with Eros. You can call it parenting with whatever you want. You can call it healing with Eros, love healing, wisdom healing, which if you look at my motto for Philosophy Coffee is healing the world with wisdom, love. So I am introducing the world to Erosology Because when people walk into my office, the very first thing I tell them is, look, I don't use psychology because it's garbage. Technically, actually, I didn't study it. That's right. I didn't study it. I reverse engineered what was done to me and all of my mind. And that's how I came up with all my shit. It was awesome. Is because I reverse engineered it off of logic using philosophy. And then I created all of the shit I created for it to be logically comprehensive to my brain. And then when I did research on Pythagoras and psychology, I realized how much my material matched. I could look into psychology and go, wow, they've got a lot of things wrong, and they do. And that's because there's no logic there. And then I was able to understand where Pythagoras actually worked on my stuff. So I didn't study Pythagoras and then based my work off of. No, I didn't. I reverse engineered my own brain. I should tell people that. I did. I reverse engineered my own brain, my own psyche. That's what I did. And that's how I came up with everything. That's how I came up with all of my theories. And then when I figured it out, I used it on myself and it worked. And then I started using it on other people. And then when I start talking to psychologists, they're going, holy fucking shit. And it's like, yeah, but I did study philosophy, as in I read Sophie's World. That's what I did. I read Sophie's World. Read Sophie's World. Read Sophie's World. And then study logic. And then study like 8 years of theater, art, music theory, physics, geometry. Then start reading the great books. That's what I did. It was awesome. All right. Now, they say that if you read the great books and you walk away with a master's degree, what they say, a bachelor's or a master's in liberal arts? Bullshit. If you read the great books and you understand them and you walk away with them, you will have equivalent to like 20 doctorate degrees. True story. I read only 50, maybe 75 of the great books. So, yeah, the great books are, but they don't mean anything if you don't study the logic. You have to study logic first. Logic, Sophie's World, and then get your ass through the great books. That's what I did. And if you want, I'll do my reading list. Like I'll write down my reading list. So these are all the books that I read. But I'm really going to emphasize that a lot of that was because I spent the first 8 years doing music, theater, art, dance, painting, sing, song, dance, all of the arts, which fucking matters because my metric and my brain was honed for imagination, and you require imagination to be able to see abstract. All right, so I have aerosology here. I like that a lot better. That's what I'm going to be doing. So I've decided I'm going to write 2 books. It's going to be like a workbook, and it's going to be like a 90-page workbook. And I started writing that the other day. And it's going to have basically the handbook. And this is going to be walking people through the 12 steps. And it's going to be breaking it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write it over this year. And it might be less, but I'm going to write it this year, where it's going to be the 12 steps. So the Triadic Healing is available now if you want to do the online course. And that comes with, that can come with or without me. And then, yeah, I do have availability on that. I do have like information on my website if you want to look at that at onnaimagination.com. So yeah, I'm definitely feeling far more grounded and far more comprehensive of how I'm going to address all of this, where I'm going to come in and from what angle. So, and I have my business plan drawn up, and I'm looking for sponsors now. So I am going to be shopping real hardcore for finding people who are as passionate about this project as I am, so we can get this launched. So my goal with Philosophical Coffee now, and nothing's changing. Like the skeleton is solid. This thing is like, I got my skeleton. So Philosophical Coffee, if you have not caught my 2-hour morning show, it's about 2 hours. It's like 90 minutes. And it is 100% healing centered. And it is about 45 minutes in the morning where I talk on a particular topic. And then there is a 30-minute meditation. We do gratitude journaling. We do all the holistic stuff 30 minutes in. And then, so we do the education with the knowledge, with the theory. Yeah, that's a good word for it. We do the theory. All right, let me do this for a minute here. Let me think. music theory, technique. That would be the holistic, would be the technique. Exercises. And then performance. Those are the 4 parts of music. When you study music, you have your performance, you have your music theory, you have your technique, and then you have your exercises. And I'm making sure I have the same thing here. Like, I have the theory, I do technique. I want to say it's practical theory. I cannot emphasize practical psychology. Erosology is practical psychology. That's it. Erosology is practical psychology. There we go. Practical psychology. And this is 100% holistic. It is just logic. Now, my servers, everything I do, are being converted over to a private server. So at some point, my podcast is going to be moving. I'm going to be blunt. I'm going to be pissing off a lot of really big people. And I know this. My team knows this. So we have plans in place to take care of that. So, yeah. Yeah. So I am going to be moving my podcast at one point. And yeah, I have no fear. None at all. I noticed I'm still also in this psychology mode of shifting perspectives. And the second perspective is, yeah, I want to connect. Connection is what a lot of us are thinking about, but we don't realize the importance of this word. Oh yeah, I was talking about what weapons were used against us for psychological warfare. Words is how. Words is a big part of it. The words we use. So, just kind of want to sit down for a minute and just process. I brought my plant out here. I love my plant. Yeah, I'm normalizing. I can feel it. I am definitely normalizing. In between perspective shifts, it's only disorienting if you don't know who you are. I'm beginning to realize that. It's only disorienting if you do not have yourself established. I need a minute. I'm feeling it and I'm just going with it right now. So I'm just like, all right, apparently it is time to just sit and process and think. Observing. Observe. Wow, cool. Cool. It's fucking awesome. I gotta explain the psychology. I'm feeling epiphanies occur, so I'm shifting perspectives. And I need to document this as it occurs. Because this is where it gets really fucking deep. I'm in the U of I, so I'm at the 12th ethical stage. And it was, I gotta document when this happens. Whoa, what the fuck is this? Oh, okay, I did not know I had statistics on my website. So this is 1 January 2023. Oh, 24. Ha ha ha. And this is, I shifted into the second ethical perspective stage, oh, I can feel it, of the U of I on 31 December 2023. I can feel the effects. I am entering into a very curious state of mind of simple observation. Quiet, curious observation. This very much reminds me of what a toddler in the second perspective would experience following the mastered command, the mastered skill of dominating the self, fear, using courage. I feel my language already shifting. In the last 12 hours alone, I have finally been able to articulate things and ideas that I have not been able to see, say, all of my life. I felt the emotions, joy, and happiness for the first time yesterday. Prior to these two emotions, I underwent a series of epiphanies.
Okay, I found this on the web for S-Up.
All right, Siri,
Check it out.
you just scared the fuck out of me, Siri. Like, really, I'm typing away and then she just popped in, check this out on the web. And I'm like, oh! Prior to these two emotions, I underwent a series of epiphanies that began. English is weird. Vegan. Began. Why don't we say vegan? We say vegan. Why don't we say vegan? We say began. Why don't we say began? I want to know who comes up with these words, with these ideas. I'm going to spell it like vegan, but I'm going to say it's going to be just like began, but we're going to say vegan instead of vegan. You know what we need to be called? And it's vegetarian. So why didn't they go vegan? Like, nothing about the word makes sense. Vegan? No. So it's vegan. No. It's vegan. It's different. I underwent a series of epiphanies that began with vulnerability, with identifying the emotion vulnerability. No, that's an ethic. I hate the word emotion. It does not feel logically right for me. Identifying the ethic, something does not feel right in me. I can feel it. Oh, I know what this is. I have perspective sickness. Perspective sickness began at 6:32 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on 1 January 2024. That's probably why I can't sleep, is I can feel the perspective sickness. So I will explain the symptoms of perspective sickness, because once you start shifting perspectives, 3 days. It takes 3 days to recover from it. So for the next 3 days, I'm going to be disoriented. Fortunately, I have documented all of the symptoms and what to expect. So I will be walking you through what to expect with, oh yeah, I feel it. Okay, so the first symptoms is a significant rise in body temperature. Symptoms include a significant rise in body temperature due to increased frequencies in the internal energy system as the quote next dimension sets in. It means I'm going faster. Clearer articulation, the ability to translate and see the 4 points of view in addition to the 12 ethical stages. Wait, perspective views. Ooh, I love that. I needed those words. See, this is why I love perspective shifts. You get new vocabulary. The ability to translate and see the 4 points of view in addition to the 12 ethical perspective views. The perspective views each have their own language. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my, oh yeah, I definitely have it. I can feel it. Where's this in conclusion? I have this one. Oh yeah, I am definitely feeling it. Yeah, I'm feeling it. Let's go over to Beyond the 12th. Beyond the 12th is my blog. Where is it? I don't see it here. Where is it? I had in conclusion. Notes on the 12th ethical perspectives, 3rd and 4th ethical perspectives. It's fantastic because I have it documented right here. It's wonderful. Did I not save it? Of course I saved it. All right, let me just grab it from my YouTube channel. I'm like, where is it? Where is it? All right. There is so much information when you have a new perspective shift, and sometimes it's really hard to keep up with it all. All right, where is it? It was under shifting perspectives. In conclusion was the name of it. Oh, I do not feel good. Oh wait, was it into the Queen's Journals? No. Solo Self and the Student. Oh yeah, it was called In Conclusion. This is really bothering me. Is it a draft? Was it a draft? I think it was a draft. Maybe I never pushed play on it or publish on it. Yeah, I am definitely feeling it. All right, let me see if I can't find drafts. So let me go over to posts. Yeah, I don't feel good. Now let's check pages. Oh, it's so frustrating because I had it and it said in conclusion. Oh, why would I have this as a page? Well, I found it. All right. I don't know why this was not. Okay, well, I found it. But this should have been made into a post. So I'm going to go ahead and I will figure this out later, I think, because right now I need to focus. But I found it. And what I'm wanting to do is actually put in here the video. All right, so physical symptoms is disorientation. Disorientation is huge. Weakness, tired. Oh my God, I am so tired. It's really difficult to explain. I'll come back to it, but definitely the rise in temperature. Dizziness, that's part of it. And it lasts for, symptoms last. The symptoms are most severe in the first 24 hours following a shift. And something I noticed that the more defined an individual is, the less disorienting the symptoms are. So if you're not defined, it's really going to rip you apart. I cannot explain that to you enough. It's really one of the schizophrenia is perspective sickness. Yeah, there's a lot of, schizophrenia is like, oh yeah, that's it. And vastly reflects 100% of the experience an individual undergoes from the 6th perspective to the about the 9th, 10th perspective. I had everything's kind of solid by the 10th perspective. There was a lot of confusion for me during the 10th perspective. It's because there was no disorientation. Like I was going, okay, this doesn't feel the same. Did I shift? And there was a period between the 10th and 11th where I couldn't tell if I had shifted. And now in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, I can see precisely where I shifted and what was going on. So I felt the emotions, joy, happiness for the first time yesterday. Prior to these two emotions, I underwent a series of epiphanies that began with identifying the ethical 3rd perspective, which was vulnerability, followed by a sudden need to define my personal laws, boundaries, which solidified my 4th perspective, comprehension. This shortly led to my understanding of the 1st ethical perspective, courage. I hypothesize. I don't know if I like that word. Let me look it up because I know there's theory and then there's hypothesis. I'm not sure which is which. Yeah, there's a supposition or proposed explanation made on the basis of limited evidence, a starting point for further investigation. Interesting. A proposition. Well, that explains why I use the word hypothesis. A theory is something else. Let me take a look at theory. There's something here that's a hypothesis versus a theory. I think theory is science, but I don't know. A scientific reasoning. A hypothesis is constructed before any application research has been done. A theory, on the other hand, is supported by evidence. Interesting. Define evidence. I'm such a philosopher. Define evidence. What does that mean? Define it. Yeah, rule number 1 of everything we do in philosophy, you define it first. All right, so hypothesis. So hypothesis, and then it becomes a theory, and then it's a fact. Whew. So, what do you think here? I don't think it's a hypothesis, though, and I'll tell you why. It is because this is like, how many shifts have I had now? I started documenting my shifts in the 7th, or in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 1st, and now 2nd. This is my 9th shift documented. How many fucking times do I have to explain this process? And it's all consistently the same. So I believe very strongly that my hypothesis has been moved to a theory. And we have observation, we have logical deduction, we have, interesting, I was able to find one other person who did go through the shift, and we were able to document her shift. And yep, check, 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 right across the board. So I was able to confirm that, yep, very much so. I don't have a problem calling all of my work hypothesis, saying, here it is, here's the hypothesis. Use my YouTube channel to research erosology. This is fucking awesome. All right, so I'm going to explain, because this is something that's really just in my head and it bugs me, is the word philosophy, because what we have defined it to be is such bullshit versus what it really is. What it really is the mastery of okay, what is this fucking word? I hate this word. It's like a crux in my side, and it's like interdisciplinary. And I'll tell you why. It's because it's wrong. It's not interdisciplinary. It's interdiscipline, these dipshits. It's interdiscipline. So I don't know who came up with the concept of airy. What is that shit anyway? What is airy? What is airy? Look, we're going to do that. Airy. I want the etymology of airy. The word etymology. I want to know what suffix this comes from. Come on, Anna. Come on, come on. The etymology of airy. Like dysentery. What is airy? All right. Suffix, airy, etymology. Arium, from Latin, arius, adjective and noun word forming element. I know. In most cases, from Latin arius, aria, arium, connected with pertaining to. Pertaining to. Okay. The man engaged in. From pi, yes, I love pi, Proto-Indo-European languages, relational adjective suffix yo, of or belonging to. The neuter of the adjectives in Latin also were often used as nouns. Solarium is a sundial. Vivarium, honorarium. I remember seeing how that makes sense to me. But interdisciplinary, it's an adjective. That's what it's screaming at me. But it shouldn't be that. And what it's screaming to me is it should be interdiscipline. Interdiscipline. Let me look up the word interdisciplinary etymology. Promoting orderly observance of rules. Medieval Latin, disciplinarius. See, now that makes sense. Okay, so this is some dipshit not knowing how to translate Latin into English in the 1950s because he didn't bother studying linguistics. It's not interdisciplinarity. See, now interdisciplinarity makes sense, but that's not what people are saying. They're saying interdisciplinary. That doesn't make sense. Ooh. So no, I'm going to do this. Yeah. Interdisciplinary is a sloppy word. Disciplinary. No. Discipline. Discipline. Interdiscipline. This is like RAS. When I ran into RAS and it was like the reticular articulation system. Really? 2 fucking adjectives? Really? We're going to do this? 2 fucking adjectives. All right then. Reticular articulation. Reticular. Ugh. Interdisciplinary means between fields, but they don't have to be unrelated disciplines. Interdisciplinary. I don't like this word at all, which is why it's logically not fitting into my logic line. And I'm going, no. All right. Yeah, see, disciplines, and that's what I'm thinking. It should be interdisciplines. I'm changing the word, interdisciplines. Listen to me. I'm just seeing interdisciplines of anthropology, interdisciplines of psychology, interdisciplines of all. There we go. So I'm going to make this clear to you. Philosophy is the mastery of all interdisciplines. That's what philosophy is. There, I finally said it. The right words. My God, that feels so good to say. One more time. Philosophy, where's my Anna-isms? This is going on my board. That's it right there. Philosophy is the mastery of all interdiscipline. Interdisciplines. That's it. It's the mastery of all interdisciplines. Really fucking cool. We are not talking a small feat. Interdisciplines. It is a mastery of all interdisciplinary studies. See, it's an add to interdisciplinarian. Interdisciplinarian. That's what I want to say. All interdisciplinarian studies. That's what I want to say. Interdisciplinarian studies or interdiscipline. But you can't have interdisciplinary. That doesn't, it bugs me. So interdisciplinarian studies. Philosophy is the mastery of all interdiscipline studies. That is what it is. That is philosophy. And it does this using wisdom, love. Oh yeah, it's fucking cool. It's fucking cool. Yeah, I'm going to put that in there too. And it does this using wisdom, love. At its core. Yeah, it's fucking cool. That is philosophy. So when you understand the mastery of interdiscipline, like these are the people who go, one subject. I want all the subjects. Get your ass over to philosophy. That's it. Let's talk about neurodivergence because you are my people. All right, I'm going to shut this down. We're going to do a new video and we're going to talk about interdiscipline, or we're going to talk about neurodivergence. You know what? That might be my edition of Philosophy Coffee this morning because I need to talk about this. No, I'm not going to do that because I have to talk about courage. I'm going to wing it. I don't know. Let me figure this out because I'm on a roll. No, I gotta think here. Let me focus. Let me make a decision. What do I want to do? I want to talk. That's what I want to do. Well, so the quiet observation has passed. Let me think here. No, I just need to do this. We're going to do this. I'm going to do neurodivergent and I will talk to you later. Thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.